Well, that's cool. You got some stuff done outside, passing time inside. What was your wife doing? She's still watching TV?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, what time do y'all go to dinner? Did you mention get back from dinner or come back from dinner?
Mm-hmm. Well, I didn't. She probably told y'all that, or heard me.
Oh, I thought somebody had mentioned it earlier, when we were still out on the road.
Oh.
I thought you had mentioned it to somebody whenever you had pulled up.
I don't know. Heck, I don't even know what time. What time did we get to dinner?
Or what time did you leave the house for dinner?
Mm.
You remember?
No.
Where'd y'all go eat?
Colton's.
Oh, hey, that's a good place.
Well, I let my daughter decide.
She's a daddy's girl.
Mm-hmm.
Did you eat anything good at Colton's?
Just a steak.
Hey, can't go wrong there, right?
Right.
Alright. That's awesome. Well, did you get a chance to at least freshen up after laying all that seed down? No?
Not really.
You went through all that just like that?
Well, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
You
dressed so nice to go lay seed down?
Oh, I was probably ready to go eat.
Oh, gotcha.
I told let's go eat. Told them, let's get ready and go eat somewhere in there. So,
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Awesome. So you didn't change or anything before you guys left?
I'm sure I put a different shirt on, probably, yeah.
Hey, I wouldn't be surprised. I would too. It was so hot outside and you were sweating.
Yeah, well, yeah.
What'd you have on?
Just a little t-shirt.
What color was it?
Gray, I think.
Oh, man. Yeah, I would be surprised if you got all that done outside and then didn't change, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, I can do that. That's not a whole lot. I mean, it's like walking to the bathroom and back. There you go.
In 80-degree weather? I don't know.
Yeah. Feel pretty good.
Well, at least you got some stuff done today. Fed your chicken.
Yeah.
So, when you went back in...
All right, Chase, what do you got?
Here is where the masterpiece, I think, of her interview is. She's sticking to the things that she knows he's comfortable talking about. He lays it all out and starts having a lot of trouble with changing outfits. So this little changing outfits time frame, she started to just walk along this pathway until the bricks just started crumbling in this one area. So she knows that there's some red flags right there. So the highest point of stress right here is when it comes to his body language. And it's when he's talking about not having done a whole lot that requires a change of outfit. His legs pull all the way back into an I can get up out of this chair easier position. That's a long name for that, but let's just keep that. But his hands pull back into digital flexion again, almost into fists on his legs. And he goes into self-soothing behavior, just trying to burn off all this excess energy that this sudden spike in adrenaline has caused. I think she does a fantastic job right here. And it sounds like normal conversation. If you're listening to it and it doesn't sound like much, that's a good thing. If you're hearing an interrogation and you can't tell that an interrogation's going on, you're hearing a pro. Scott, what do you got?
All right. I agree with you 100%. Now, she's trying to find out if his wife is going to be able to corroborate what's going on. That's why she's asking those questions about going out to eat supper and changing his clothes and those types of things, because she knows she'll be part of that. And when they ask her questions, she'll be able to say, what were you doing during this time? Oh, I was here. He was doing this. So she's gathering that information, putting it in a little basket to be able to talk to him about that later on when it comes up. Now, then she gets right back into what he did next, and she's making it so simple and so smooth and so easy. She's changed a little bit from a body language perspective, because now she's starting to look like she's showing interest. I'm not so sure that's the best thing to do at this point, because once he sees she's really interested in what's happening, then he's going to start shutting down again. So she's aimed a little bit closer to him. She's not leaned in yet. She never gets to that point where she can close enough to reach out and touch him or anything, which we'll talk about in a few minutes. But she's not all up in his business or anything, but she's acting interested. So that goes against what she's been doing so far. Maybe part of her plan, maybe what she's used to, and that's how she's doing it, because she's getting closer to the part where it's going to be time to close in on him and close this thing. So again, you can try to hide your body language, and you can try as hard as you want, but it's not going to work. And you try to approach panelists. If you're watching this, if you're a subscriber, if you're not subscribed, because you'll learn things like this. When you're approaching body language, let's say you haven't been studying it or you're just learning about it, approach it this way. Look at it and say, what's that person's body language trying to tell me? Because I may be telling you something, or person may be telling you something, but their body may be saying something completely different, or maybe adding to it. So think about not just what they're saying, but what their body language is trying to tell you. Take it from that perspective. Because if you do that, you'll have that second bit of inner dialogue going on for yourself, saying, what are they really trying to tell me here? And you may learn something. And from these things you'll find, if you're a subscriber, some things you'll find on here as you go through our old videos up to now, you'll see these things we're talking about, and you'll be able to use those in that way in that approach to talking to someone and trying to figure out what their body language is trying to tell you. I think that's really important. So approach it from that perspective. What is their body language trying to tell me? And I think it'll be a game changer for you. Greg, what do you got?
Well, you're back to what I said earlier now, Scott. And somebody I know made a really good living off teaching people to be persuasive with their body language. We might be in the room. And
that British dude. I know you're talking about. The
British dude with the hair.
He's everywhere.
Yeah.
He's everywhere.
So what your body is doing when you're using your hands in that is trying to persuade somebody of something, back to the point. And it's the brain wants to persuade what's truth, but the body and your psyche may be trying to do something else, and it'll hijack the hell out of your story. So I'm with you there. Let's talk about that, asking what the wife would say. Something I always say is there are really 4 types of lies. There's omission, commission, transference, and embellishment. The hardest 2 lies to break, period, are transference, where I take Chase's life and turn it into mine, or embellishment, where I make the fish this big. And the single best tool for breaking both of those lies is creating a team sport. So if you were fishing, I'm going to go ask your wife about the fish and was it that big? Or I'm going to ask other people, who was there with you when this happened? And so that's a good way to put somebody on notice that you're going to cross-reference. We do it all the time in interrogation. I have 2 people and I say, well, he told me that you said this. That's a big, ugly thing. And it's part of a we know all approach. And we know all is one of Hans Scharf's kind of Scharfian interrogation, whether you call it that or not, approaches. You got to be really careful when you say we know all, because we say things that we believe are true. And if you take one step too far, you go from we know all to we don't know shit. And she almost does that. She says, you said, and he goes, I never said that. Ding, ding. And it shows because she's either uncomfortable or she's marking content. I've been in interrogations plenty where I'll do something like that, like my arm hurts, to mark content in the video so I don't have to take a note on something very important. Because Chase, you say it all the time, when you write something down, somebody immediately knows that was important. But if I do this, they may not. So either that or she's feeling discomfort and insecure and moving her arm. And I think it's insecurity because she realized that he just said, I didn't know that. But she does a great job of not making a big deal. And I think part of that is this whole naivete thing she's playing. She just kind of turns right back around and starts talking about clothing. And this is non-pertinent. This is pertinent. Parading is non-pertinent, whether it has to do with the storyline or otherwise. I'll tell you a way I've used this one very effectively in my past. When you've grabbed and bagged people and you bring them out and they had on certain clothing when you capture them, I'd walk in with my bag and go, hey, Chase, I think I got what you were captured in here. Tell me what you're wearing. Guess what? I'm getting eye movement like all tomorrow for looking at where you go for visual memory. And I'll ask you, hey, what was in your wallet? That kind of stuff. It works wonderfully. So you're getting a baseline, you're getting information. Even after having something I think made her very uncomfortable, she flexes and goes right into it. Nice job. Mark, what do you got?
Yeah, look, another universal. There isn't an organism on the planet that doesn't do approach and avoid. It doesn't matter if you're a blue-green algae, a fungus of some sort, even a sulfur-based life form down in the deep volcanoes at the bottom of the ocean. And us human beings, we have this simple system of approach stuff that's good, and move away, avoid stuff that's bad. Now, when it comes to us human beings, some complexities get in there, but ultimately, when we're reading body language, we can start with some really simple systems to go, what might this mean, and then build the complexity out of it. And Chase, to your point, I just totally agree. And I think everybody said the same thing, basically, is those feet retreat. There's the retreat response on this idea of the change of clothing. Now, I'm not listening carefully enough to understand whether there was a change of clothing or not a change of clothing and who suspects what or whatever. I just don't know, but I know it's really important because the rhythm of that retreat is very different from some of the other rhythms of retreat that we've had before. It's very pertinent what's going on there. And again, I think it's brilliant that she's got that moment out of him. Whether she's seen that moment, I don't know. I suspect she has. I suspect she's seeing a lot that's going on here. So brilliant, just lovely to see.
One of those tape replays.
Well, that's cool. You got some stuff done outside, passing time inside. What was your wife doing? She's still watching TV?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, what time do y'all go to dinner? Did you mention get back from dinner or come back from dinner?
Mm-hmm. Well, I didn't. She probably told y'all that, or heard me.
Oh, I thought somebody had mentioned it earlier, when we were still out on the road.
Oh.
I thought you had mentioned it to somebody whenever you had pulled up.
I don't know. Heck, I don't even know what time. What time did we get to dinner?
Oh, what time did you leave the house for dinner?
Mm-hmm.
You remember?
No.
Where'd y'all go eat?
Colton's.
Oh, hey, that's a good place.
Well, I let my daughter decide.
She's a daddy's girl.
Mm-hmm.
Did you eat anything good at Colton's?
Just a steak.
Hey, can't go wrong there, right?
Right.
Alright. That's awesome. Well, did you get a chance to at least freshen up after laying all that seed down? No?
Not really.
You went through all that just like that?
Well, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
You
dressed so nice to go lay seed down?
Oh, I was probably ready to go eat.
Oh, gotcha.
I told let's go eat. Told him, look, let's get ready and go eat somewhere in there. So,
Oh, yeah?
yeah.
Awesome. So you didn't change or anything before you guys left?
I'm sure I put a different shirt on, probably, yeah.
Hey, I wouldn't be surprised. I would too. It was so hot outside and you were sweating.
Yeah, well, yeah.
What'd you have on?
Just a little t-shirt.
What color was it?
Gray,
Okay.
I think.
Oh man, yeah, I would be surprised if you got all that done outside and then didn't change, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, I can do that. That's not a whole lot. I mean, it's like walking to the bathroom and back. There you go.
In 80-degree weather? I don't know.
Yeah. Feel pretty good.
Well, at least you got some stuff done today. Fed your chickens.
Yeah.
So when you went back in.
If you like this video, get the full body language breakdown and analysis on our main channel by clicking this video right here.